Welcome, Keller Williams, Woodland, and Magnolia. I'm going to go ahead and hide this video just so it doesn't get in the way. I kind of make funny faces when I talk. So welcome to the first webinar for you guys, the ABCs of RPR. I'm so excited to be able to present information to you. And if you guys don't know RPR, we want you to be a wildly successful realtor, and in order to do that, you need to close more deals. Your hard work should lead to your success, and we really do understand how much is riding on your next deal, which is why we built the nation's largest property database exclusively for realtors. So in today's presentation, I'm going to share with you just how to navigate, how to go in, customize, and update your profile. We will do a couple of use case scenarios on how to use RPR with buyers and sellers and how to create reports and learn more. It's also essential to myself and RPR in the time of this crisis to make sure we're delivering our message where you can still use RPR in a relevant fashion. So hopefully I can do that for you today. If you are new to RPR, if you don't know of RPR, we are a member benefit of the National Association of Realtors. So as long as you are a NAR member in good standing, you have access to the RPR tools. You don't pay any additional fees to use this information. And because your brokerage has partnered with RPR, you get this great training, and you also get that valuable brand recognition already embedded in our platform, which you're going to see in just a couple of minutes. Now, some other things that you're going to see in RPR are the estimates of value. These are your AVMs and your RVMs. These are automated valuation models. Okay, sometimes they're referred to as a market value estimate, but these AVMs are calculated for parcels by using publicly available information. So consumer AVMs are all over the place now. Everyone knows what their home is worth on Zillow. You know, they're over the last couple of weeks, I'm sure many homeowners are checking on their home investment to see if the value has dropped since this whole thing started, right? And guys, feel free to use that Q&A and just comment on what I'm saying, share your thoughts on what I'm saying, ask your question on what I'm saying. Anytime throughout this presentation, I want to make sure that everyone is heard and participates. So these values are really important to today's consumer. Well, in RPR, we also have estimates of value, in which we call the RVM, or the Realtor's Valuation Model. And this is a market value estimate that's calculated using publicly available information. And then we also have that layer of MLS, active, sold, and off-market data available as well. And this is the highest accuracy of any evaluation product that's available. So you will see these AVM fields within RPR. I also want to touch base on some of the tips for learning RPR. You know, I've kind of heard the term downtime, but I don't really think in real estate we ever have downtime. There's always something that has to be done. There's always something that we have to communicate. You're always, even if you're not running out the door, now you're running to the email and you're running to the messaging and you're running to the Facebooks, or we're always running in real estate, and we want to make our platform really easy for you to learn so you can hit the ground running. So throughout RPR, we have a learning menu that's available, and you can access this learning menu by clicking on a little scholar cap that is on your navigation bar. And this little learning menu option is site specific. So no matter where you are in RPR, if you click that cap, it's going to come up and give you suggestions on what you want to learn about. If you're looking at a parcel report, maybe it's going to ask you about pricing that property or doing a quick print or finding out more information on the AVM. If you're on the reports page, it's going to talk about reports. If you're on the home page, it's going to target your searching. So it really is site specific to those tools. So be aware that that information is in RPR to get you started. Now you can always visit narrpr.com to get started. Some of you may even be able to link to RPR through the homepage or the dashboard of your MLS. So from here, we're going to just kind of break down your homepage in RPR. So you have kind of front and center right there the search bar within RPR, and you'll see all of the different types of searches that we have. So right here, front and center, we have our all properties search, which is just public records data, really. We have our for sale search. We have our for lease search, our neighborhood demographics, our schools, and our market activity. And the market area activity search is very close to the hot sheet type of search that you have in your MLS, right? It's going to allow you to take a look at a particular market area and see all the activity over time, right? So that is there for you. And then just below, you have these recent properties boxes. And to get those recent property boxes, I want to do a couple of searches. You'll see those properties build as we go, these quick touch boxes as we go. Just below that, you'll get info on RPR Mobile. RPR Mobile has a great mobile app. You can download it through the App Store and Google Play. But if you keep on going to the bottom of the page, at the very bottom, on the lower right-hand side, here is the support phone number. If you have any questions, reach out to our call center. They are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 977-7576. We also have a live chat that can help you as well. Now you may notice we have that Keller Williams Realty logo to the bottom. If I scroll up, we also have that Keller Williams Woodlands and Magnolia Realty logo to the top as well. That tells you or confirms that you're in the right office. You have your broker tools set up, so that brand will automatically be embedded in all of the reports that you create. Now, RPR, since you're kind of new to hearing about our platform, we are a realtor-centric tool. And what I mean by that realtor-centric tool is the only way you have access to RPR is being a member of the National Association of Realtors. We are a realtor-only tool. Above and beyond being a realtor-only tool, we don't syndicate, we don't sell, we don't display, we don't auto-notify, we don't share, we don't have a consumer search engine, nothing. So the only way a member of the public is going to get information from RPR is through a report that their agent, their realtor, shares with them. And you can print out those reports and mail them. You can email them. You can text message them. You can send them through social media. So we do have all of these different ways to get these reports out there. But like any tool that you use, you want to make sure when you're sharing those reports that your contact information is on those reports. So where we're going to jump to is our gear. So we have a gear There's your scholar cap for your learning. Just to the right of your scholar cap is your gear. And that's where you go in to plug in all of your preferences and settings for RPR. So you are going to want to come in and add a photo. So if I can go to my documents, here's my agent photo. The hardest thing about getting a photo into RPR is knowing where on your computer that photo is. Here's my photo. You do have the ability to crop it if you need to. I'm just going to go ahead and click OK, and that's going to lock my agent photo in. Now you can add an additional logo. This is great for a team logo or a team photo. If you work within a team, you can upload that. And then you're just putting in your contact information. So I'm just going to put in my name, my title. I'm a team listing leader, whatever you may want to put in there. Spell it correctly. You have your office name. Let me just copy and paste that. So I'm going to put that office name in there. You have that office address. You have your phone number. So I can go ahead and put in my phone number. You have an add more. So maybe this is going to be my mobile, and I want to add my assistant's phone number. Right? You have a fax number. You have multiple email addresses if you wanted to add those email addresses. You have your website if you want to add your website. Okay. And then you have to do agree to those terms of use, hit that save button, and it's going to lock in that contact information. So make sure those phone numbers are in. All of that initial layer, I'm going to close out of this, that initial layer of contact information, name, office name, phone number, all of that feeds into RPR from your local association. Another thing that I want you to do while you're looking at your profile here is your time zone. So you will see a time zone drop down. You guys are going to want to put this in. Give me a shout out through that Q&A. Are you guys, you're Texas, are you still in the central time over there? I'm in the Eastern time zone. So I would put in Eastern here because I'm in, again, the Tampa Bay area, but you would put in whatever your time zone is for your area. So I'm going to put in the Eastern time zone. I'm going to hit save. And bear with me because I can't find my Q&A window. There it is. All right. So you save that, it locks it in place, and then you can go back to the home page or do whatever you want to do to get started to generating those reports. And you guys are all in the central time zone. Beautiful. I'll remember that next time. All right, so let's start doing our searches. So we're going to come in. I'm going to go into my for sale tab, and I'm going to type in a zip code. So we'll just come in and say, hey, we want to search 77380. It comes up as Spring, Texas. So here we are. And I can put in a price range. If I want to put in a price range, I can put in my bed requirement. I also have an advanced property search here where I could come in and type advanced. And I do have a keyword here. So you can use keywords to identify unique property features that you want your property to have when it comes up in the search results. This is great if someone's looking for a pool, a fenced yard. In Texas, maybe they want, stables or something like that. So you can add that keyword. I have dogs, so I always look for that fenced yard. So I can come in and add that keyword. You can add up to 6 keywords into your search at one time, right? And that's kind of going to go through and search those public marketing remarks, search the realtor remarks, search all of those MLS fields. And then the next thing we have here is your show. So in my property search, I can identify both active and pending listings. These are mapped by your MLS business rules. So I'm going to come in and say, well, I have a buyer. They're looking for a free and clear property. They don't want something that's already under contract. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the active field checked. And then they also want a property that's non-distressed. So if I want to eliminate anything that is a foreclosure or bank-owned property, anything that's a pre-foreclosure or subject to auction, or anything that's a short sale is going to become unchecked. So that removes those from my property search. And let me just define our distressed property fields for you really quick. Now I have a question out there from Dawn. Can you search for lap pools? If a lap pool is a unique feature, you could come in. Oops. If you are pretty secure that agents put this in, you could just add the keyword search lap pool and run it and see if they come up, and if they're in the area and they're defined either by a feature on your MLS sheet or it's noted in the public marketing remarks, it will most certainly come up. So you would use that keyword search, Dawn. Perfect. Wonderful. Okay. So back to our distressed property features. Because I'm in a for sale property search, RPR is looking for parcels that are actively listed. So it will look through the MLS fields for anything that's noted pre-foreclosure, bank owned, or subject to auction, or a short sale. And if it happens to be an actively listed parcel where the property appraiser, or it would be, I guess, county records indicates that there is a pre-foreclosure intent to foreclose or what have you, it will also pull it up from the county indication, and that's under the for sale search. If we're just in an all property search, it's only looking through public record to determine distressed activity. If it's for sale, it's looking through public record and MLS record. So we also have living area, lot size, price per acre, price per square foot, and all of the property styles. So we're single family, condo, townhouse, manufactured, mobile, land, farm, ranch, all of them are in here. Now I'm just going to come in and put in single family. You can also look for properties that were listed within a particular time frame. Maybe they had a price change within a particular time frame. Maybe you have someone that's looking for newer or older construction. Those search fields are available for you. And then you're just going to click on that magnifying glass, and it's going to go ahead and load all of those property matches. You'll see here we get this kind of little pop-up that says, hey, you can now create up to 2,000 mailing labels from your search results each month. And that is available to you at no additional cost. So you have that there. And then we have the list of properties that meet our criteria. So what I'm going to do here is maximize my list view. I drop it right out to 100 properties, and you can see we have the list of properties that are for sale. We can sort them by most expensive, least expensive, year built. If you want most recently updated, you can do most recently updated as well. Oh, okay, Teresa, I'm getting a, so Teresa informed me that if you go up to your mailing labels, you guys cannot export mailing records. So this is not RPR. Please don't kill the messenger. RPR has to abide by all local and state regulations. And there are certain markets across the country where the government, local governments, has determined that you cannot export property addresses through public record data for marketing purposes. So in your particular area of Texas, you can see the list of the counties here or the districts. Those specifically prohibit mailing labels in your market. So that is a local regulation and you are not impeded by RPR. So I do apologize that you don't have that mailing record available. So we're going to take a look at the 26 active properties that meet our criteria. But what I want to do is jump over to our map tools and share with you some of the mapping tools that we have available within RPR. So I've just gone into my map view and I get all of the properties within our zip code that meet our criteria. Now, of course, you do have the ability to narrow your search results. So I can come in and I can do a box, a radius, or a polygon and come in here and say, well, we want to identify all of the parcels, you know, in this area. I can search in this area. I can zoom in and it's going to go ahead and say, hey, these are all of the properties in our market area. So you do have the ability to draw that shape. You can click into that shape again, and you can search this area. You can create reports, you can edit the area, and you can also save the area as a custom area. Now, how you draw your shapes in RPR are very similar, if not exactly the same, for how you draw your shapes in your MLS. Now, the next thing I really like, and that's the ability to use a map pin. And this is something that you may find yourself reaching to a little more frequently. So this allows you to identify properties by a distance or a drive time to a location. So let's say you had someone that is going to they're relocating for whatever reason, and they want to be closer to a family, a friend, or a relative. You do have the ability to say, hey, well, let's use a map pin and we can search by distance. Now, if you know the full property address, you can type that full property address into the address field. You can also just click. So if they're moving to an area because they want to be close to a family, a friend, relative, maybe close to a place of an employment. A popular one is an airport. You can come in and say, hey, they want to live within 1, 3, 5, 10 miles from this area. You can select your apply button and it's going to do that distance. And you can also come in and say, well, hey, let's change this. So you do have the ability to search by that distance. But more relevant really today is the ability to search by drive time. So if they are moving close to a family, friend, relative, sick loved one, or that place of employment, you know, if it's something that you can locate on the map, just click. If not, type the address into the box on the upper right-hand side. But now you can come in and say, hey, they need to be able to get to this location by car at this time of day within 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Can we search in that area? So it's just using, let me try to drag the map down. It's just using the traffic counts that we get from this powerful Esri data to come in and use those drive times. I'm just going to come up and hit reset on my map. That is the map pin for your distance and drive time. Another great search tool that you have is under the show geographies. And this allows you to pick multiple geographies that are displayed on the map. So maybe you're coming in and saying, hey, I want to search certain zip codes. You know, you can come in, if I zoom out a little bit, we can come in and search, you know, grab multiple areas here. So if I want to come in, maybe search 33760 and then Alden Ridge at 33760. or 77382. So you can kind of pick even boundaries that don't touch each other under that zip code search. My favorite though is the neighborhood search, and I'm going to come into our area and see if this neighborhood search works. So I'm going to go to our show geographies. We have macro neighborhood being the largest and micro neighborhood being the smallest. So our macro neighborhood, if I come in and click on it, you're going to come in and say, hey, the Woodlands, that is the largest neighborhood in this area. Then we have our intermediate, where I can come in and see this is Panther Creek. This is Woodlands Town Center. This is Cottonwoods. So now I can start picking all of these little intermediate neighborhoods where I can search within multiple geographies or just a single geography if I look to. We're looking in Grogan's Mill right now. So I can come in and say, hey, search within Grogan's Mill. And then we have our minor. Sometimes you don't get a minor neighborhood. It depends on where you are. But if we go back to Grogan's Mill, let's check out our micro neighborhood. And then you're really going to start to see just these little, as we call them, subdivisions in Florida just start to pop up, where you can come in and say, oh, I really just want to search in Fern Lake and what looks like Tamarack Woods. And you can identify just really those little micro neighborhoods to apply your search to. You also have the ability to search within school attendance zone boundaries. So this is K through 5th, 6th through 8th. So if we want to come in, maybe I have a client that wants to go into Lamar Elementary School. I can come in and search in Lamar Elementary School and it would pop up properties in that middle high school, so on and so forth. I'm going to go back to Grogan's Mill and we'll just go ahead and search in that geography. And boom, it pops up all of those properties. So we have that available to you, and we have 25 properties here, and you can still come in and say, hey, within here I want to draw a polygon shape, and we really just want to find, you know, this group of properties, you know, right within this area, and I can then search in that area to identify, you know, the 5 properties that meet our criteria. I also have the ability to save this and I can rename it. Whoops, I'm just going to come and say Grogan's Mill for the Smith family. No. And then what I do have the ability to do, I'm just going to go back to my list view. And then from the list view, if you really wanted to come in and say, hey, this is the list of the 5 properties that meet their criteria, let's go ahead and just give them a real quick print of these 5 properties. We do have that quick print that's available for you that will shoot those properties out. I do have a question out there. Do we know where we're getting the neighborhood information? We get it from a couple of different resources, Kathy. The boundaries that we get come from our mapping tools that we use, and I don't really even know. I want to say it's like it is a national like boundary mapping data aggregator. So that's where we get the boundaries from. We also get local neighborhood demographics that we pull in from census information. We get information from all of the different counties. So it does come in from a whole bunch of different resources. Maybe it's Maponics that gives us the neighborhood boundaries. So they do come in. Kathy, I know that's probably not the answer that you're looking for, but now that I'm talking, I want to say we get it from Maponics for the boundaries, and they update them quite a bit throughout the year. If we're looking at a particular property, let's say, I kind of like the way this one looks here. Let's look at this property here. We can come in, we see the list price at 450,000, and there we see that RVM value that tells us the property's RVM value, looking at MLS and public record data to determine a property's automated valuation is going to be 471,000. We get the beds, we get the bathrooms, we get the value range. We can kind of, oh my gosh, I love that picture. Oh, it's like Chief Osceola and Renegade. But here you can flip through all of those property photos. Oh, wow. Oh, whoa. I have never seen a wooden slipper tub. That is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Wow, what a cool property. We don't get houses like this in Florida. Very cool. I can also come in and look at historical photos, right? So if I want to see when it was listed past, if I want to go back to when it was listed in 2009, okay, I can come in and look at that information. I get the public marketing remarks. I have property notes. I get owner information. I get public record facts. I get listing record facts. I can confirm property facts. I can also add my own additional facts. So if there is something really cool about the property, like wooden bath features, what? Do you guys do that in Texas? We don't do that in Florida. We get median estimated home value, price change history, interior, exterior details, location details. And then you'll see here, we do get schools. We get schools based off of our location. And then we get schools coming in from the listing data as well. And you'll see these schools are linked. So I can click that school link and see the name of the school, the type, the grade served, the contact information. School information comes in from a third-party partner by the name of niche.com. So I can see all of those facts about the property or about the school, enrollment, students per teacher, ratio, average teacher salary. So this information comes in from niche.com, right? We get financing, legal. This is all of your property information. You'll see here we have the ability to look at neighborhood demographics as well. So I can look at median estimated home value, change month over month, and then I also get the housing. That is going to be my housing property values. If we come in here, my housing tab, I just want to share a couple of these. This is median estimated home value, 12-month change, percentage of rent versus own. My people is all of my household breakdown. I get my economy. I get my quality of life. So all of this information is kind of packaged up into this property profile. So again, we were able to do that quick print, right, of all of the property matches. Well, if I am looking at a particular property, I also have the ability to do a quick print of that particular property. But if I really want to be able to provide an extensive view of the property and the market conditions, I want to come up and create a report. And that create a report is going to allow me to come in and say, okay, now that I have my report, by the way, I have my cover page, I have all of my elements. I can also upload. Oh my gosh, look at that. What is this? Here's all of these custom pages that I can use. Oh my gosh, I have Magnolia Real Estate, April at a glance. I have our March 2018 Magnolia Market Watch that I can include. And then I have the same thing for Woodlands. This is great. So now when I'm coming in and I'm preparing that report for my client, I can pick and choose those brand reports that I want to include. I can also come in and upload my own reports. So if there is an agent bio, a past client testimonial that I want to include, I can come in here and say, I want my bio. I want to open it up. I want this to be at the beginning of every report that I generate for my client. I can import that and save it. So now not only can I include my Woodlands information, but I can also include my agent bio, right? So we can include those custom reports. And then I have the ability to come through and get at the top here, I can show a sample of the report, right? I can flip through all of the different pages. Okay, and I can come in and then customize the report so my client only gets what I want them to get. So we have the subject property summary. I can hover over these little information icons so I can see the summary with the list price, the RVM value. Okay, property values are going to include the list price, the estimated change in value. If I generate a comp analysis for a contract to purchase, that price would be included. I'm going to have the home facts. The home facts also include the owner facts. So I'm just going to uncheck this little box, which takes those owner facts off of my report. I get the extended home facts. I get the property photos. I get the historical photos, which I'm going to opt not to include. If I refine the value or generate the comp analysis, that information would be in there. I get my property history, which is going to include my assessed value and my mortgage info. I get my sales and financing activity with my fluctuation of my AVM and RVM, distressed property information, all of my map layers, all of my local demographics, my school information. I want 2 pages of property photos. I can type in my buyer's name. I can type in my call to action. I can email it direct to them, separate multiple email addresses by comma, or I can just run the report to generate that report. Now you may be saying to yourself, gosh, Katie, that property report seems like a pretty long report. Did I see that was 29 pages? Well, if you're coming into the property report, I want you to think of 2 buyer scenarios. We have that buyer, maybe they're relocating. Maybe they were living in Florida, they lost their job due to COVID-19, they had a house, they can't afford it anymore. They're looking to move to Spring, Texas, where they got some sort of programming gig, and they need all the information. They want the property report, they want the school information, they want the neighborhood demographics, they want everything, right? You're gonna send them this extensive property report, okay? Now, if they're someone from Spring, Texas, and maybe they're in a home, but they're looking to move into a different school district, they're looking to move into a neighborhood that they're already familiar with, you're going to jump in and you're going to give them the mini property report. So if I come in here and go into more details, you're going to see again all of those agent bios that you can include. And then you're just going to get a really simple report now. That's the property information, the summary, the extended property home facts. You get the property history. You get, whoops, that's our report generated. I'm going to go ahead and mute that by clicking on that bell. You get the neighborhood housing stats and charts. And then you can run your report. And really, that's it. That's the report. It comes out more than half the length smaller, okay? So you don't have to use that truly extensive property report. You can use a trimmed down version depending on the type of buyer, but you do really get this nice property report. So that is available for you in RPR. Now I'm going to close up shop. I'm actually going to go back to my property details and I'm going to click on the map. And I'm just going to copy a property address here and go back to our homepage. You'll start to see now the recent properties that we've looked at, the recent searches that we've created, the recent reports that we generated are all going to start to fill these property boxes. But the last thing I want to share with you is just some of the buyer tools or the seller tools that we have. So let's say we get a call from a property owner. They need to list and sell their property. You know, especially during this crisis. And I think Janice said it earlier, real estate is an essential business. It is a part of life. And unfortunately, life just moves on for a lot of people. And you can have this time where it's a struggle and someone just has to move. They have to downsize. They're concerned about family who, you know, they've hemmed and hawed about moving to be close to their parents because they're in Florida. And this really just now put the, you know, just the hammer on the nail, you know, to drive it home that it has to be done. There's just changes happen, life happens. So sometimes you just have to list a property for sale. So RPR is here for your research tool. You can pull up an off-market property. You can see that RVM value. When you look at that RVM value, you do have a link just below it that says view property details. So we come in and say, hey, here's our subject property. Here is a sampling of properties that we use to determine that property's value. We had a little bit of a variation. So our algorithm was 4 out of 5-star confident that this is the property's value. So you can print this page if you want to talk to your homeowner about it. You get the basic facts of the property that come in from public record. Here you have a street view. You also have an overhead view. So this is not a very good street view. The property is a little bit overgrown. Maybe they cleared out some of the trees. But if you wanted to come in and say, hey, I don't want to use that photo for my report. I want to come in and upload and add my own image. And I think I do have one here under my, maybe I have it under my desktop items. Do I have a sample house cover photo? Here we go. I can import my own image. And then I can edit this image and use this image as my report cover page. I have a seller's proceeds calculator. Again, I get my homeowner information. I get my home facts. I can add new information. I can confirm home facts. I still get the interior, the exterior, the location details, the school information, the legal description, the tax year, all from that public record data. So I had a question out there, what's the biggest difference using RPR or your local MLS? Well, RPR is kind of like your MLS and your public record database all in one with the demographics, the ability to use this information. So we do get a full property history as well. So you get that sales and financing activity in this great chart. You get prior sales transactions, whether it was a listing record or public record. So we can come in and see there was an interfamily transfer in 1999. We get tax information, mortgage information, distressed property information. We can come in and refine this property's value. So let's say we talked to the homeowner and we found out that this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property. And in 2019, they did a major kitchen remodel, you know, and it was done mid-range. They did it in June of 2019. They paid $25,000 for their kitchen. You know, that's going to add about $15,000 in value to their property. You know, maybe you're going to come in and say, well, we need to refine the property's value. There is a tree that is too close to the roof and it'll need to be trimmed before you list the property. And that total cost for that tree trimming or removal is going to be $2,000. You can depreciate the home's value as well. This information, this depreciation value comes from our third-party partner, Hanley Wood. They're a national leader in housing market data for remodeling and new construction. They analyze this market annually and at a regional level. Then you can also refine the value based on local market conditions. You can kind of come in and say, I understand that you are in a have to sell moment, but in our time of crisis, we are limited in our number of have to buy buyers right now. So the local market conditions, we're going to see they're a little bit tougher than we would normally see in any other April in our market. So you can come in and talk about those local market conditions, the home interior, exterior, the lot size, the view, the privacy, all of these things could impact the overall value of the home. And then you can come in and back this information up with that essential comp analysis tool. We actually have 2 CMA tools embedded right in our program. We have a comparative analysis and a sales comparison analysis. They're both done in a simple 4-step process. You're going to confirm those home facts for the property. If there's additional property features that you need to add for the purpose of your CMA, you're going to add those facts and close. You're going to find those comps. It is super simple. If you want to add a known property, you type in the address or the MLS ID number. Otherwise, you're going to search an area for several properties and pick the ones you want to use. Single family properties that sold within the last week, the last month, the last 3, 6, 12, 18. Maybe you want to go 4 months back. So I can come into my date range. I want to go April 2nd, 1, 2, 3, 4 to December 1st. I want 2 beds, 2 baths. I want to look anywhere between 1,800 and 2,700 square feet. I want this lot size, price range, price per square foot. If there's a certain field that you don't want, uncheck that box and it will remove it. Maybe you're not looking for a definite bedroom count. You can hit that search button and all of those comps are going to pop up right within your map view. So I can come right in and say, here's a comp. We want to use this property. So I can pull those comps right from my map view, or I can scroll down and pull my comps from my list view. I can sort by address, proximity, days on market, amount, square footage, living area, beds, baths, year built. They would all be included, and I can come in and I can pick and choose those comparable properties that I want to use in my CMA. I can update my evaluation and close. And step number 3 is going to be to make adjustments. I can change the order. So if I want to sort by most recent sale out, I can put this one 3rd. If I want to enlarge the photos, I can enlarge the photos. Then I'm coming in, rating my comps compared to my subject property, excluding square footage. I'm just coming in saying, you know what? This one is a little bit worse. This one is a little bit better. Okay, so you're coming in and you're just fine tuning it by using these sliding scales. It's going to average out these adjustments, giving you your adjusted result and price per square foot under your subject property. You do have a section where you can add notes to the bottom. You update your evaluation and close, and you're going to come in and create that seller's report, right? So with this, again, show sample. You can thumbnail through all of those seller report pages. You can go into more details and you can pick and choose those report elements that you want to include. You have your pricing tools, you have your home facts. I don't want those historical photos. I don't want to get that mortgage information. I don't like the sales and financing activity. I'm going to get my comps. I'm going to get my market health. I'm going to get just my local market inventory, right? Now, even though I'm going to have my local market inventory, I want to have active listings which show where buyers can put their money instead of my seller's property. But then I'm going to remove any inventory relating to pendings, solds, distressed, expireds. I get my pricing strategy and my seller's proceeds. I'm going to limit market activity to 4 properties. By the way, guys, if you don't like that RVM or AVM information, you can suppress it and then you can customize that or personalize the report, email it out, or run it. Okay. So this is a great opportunity then to jump on a Zoom chat with a property owner and say, hey, I've reviewed your property, I've reviewed your facts. Maybe do a FaceTime so they can actually walk around their home and give you a video of the property. And then you can share with them this seller's report and they can get all of those extensive details. That seller's report really is the closest thing we have to that listing presentation type report. I'm going to refresh this page and that would finalize in just a minute. But all of our reports are static reports. They're here for about 30 days. Once you have a report generated, you can download it to your desktop. You can run the report and you can also share the reports through Facebook as well. You can also download RPR Mobile through your Apple and Android-based devices as well. Through RPR Mobile, you have access to on and off market properties. You can add photo, voice, and text notes. You can send branded reports, and it does sync automatically with your desktop. For more information relating to RPR, you can visit our blog at blog.narrpr.com for additional resources. So your homework is just go in there, get in there, run a property, set up your profile. Don't forget you can access RPR by visiting narrpr.com. Visit our blog for additional resources as well. Don't forget we do have support links at the bottom of every page. So on behalf of myself, I want to thank you guys for joining me. RPR thanks you as well. I want to thank Magnolia and Woodlands, or the Woodlands and Magnolia, for joining us today. I'm going to stick around if you have any questions. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording though,